Hey everyone, I'm back again with another video. Today I wanted to talk to you about all the books that I managed to read in April. I say that like there's a lot, there aren't. But yeah, I'm just going to go straight into it. So I don't know if these are in the correct order because I can't really remember what order I read them in, but I'm pretty sure I started off with The Raqqa Diaries, Escape from Islamic State by Samir. And it's important to note that this is not actually the author's real name, it's a pseudonym that was given to him to protect his identity because he is one of the activists in Syria who are trying to fight against ISIS, and this is just his story of how his city was taken over by Daesh is what they call it in this, but that basically just means ISIS. His city was taken over by Daesh, and this is just a story of like how events turn up for him and the way he feels about it. It's written in diary entry form, so it's very like personal, it's very emotional and raw. So this is a very powerful book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because I think it's really important, and I think it's really well made, and I know the effort that went into getting these diaries out of Syria and to England was a long process and a difficult one. Also, it's incredibly beautifully published as well, so like there's colourful pages like throughout. The paper used is like really thick. There's illustrations all the way through. The paper's really thick, and yeah, it's a lovely published book, but it's not a lovely story because it is real. I keep saying story, but it is a real story of a real person, and I would recommend it to anyone who is interested in finding out what is going on in Syria. This is obviously like a year old or something, like since they were written properly, but it's hard for journalists from Western society to get into these cities and even in the country of Syria to find out what's going on. People won't talk about it because they're at risk, which is why the pseudonym has been given. So yeah, I think it's a really important book, and I'm glad that I read it, and I'll probably reread it quite shortly, maybe in like a month or so, just to reread it. It's very powerful. It made me cry on the train in public on my way to Cornwall, and that's not something that I ever do, so yeah, definitely recommend it. Next up, I finished reading Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, and as you can see, I've still got like a bookmark in the middle of it because I finished reading it on Audible, and I don't think I should have done that. I basically started reading this last summer, which is ridiculous, but anyway, I wanted to finish it, and I bought the audiobook on Audible for like maybe like £2 or something. I don't know, it was very, very cheap, and I finished it. But I don't think I should have finished it on Audible because I had a much better time reading the first half than listening to the second half, and I think that's because you can like really appreciate the writing, and I don't know about any of her other books because I haven't read any. This is my first Jane Austen, but her writing's really easy to read for like classic literature, and also she's very funny in the things that she's writing. I particularly like wanted to read this one because number one, it's the shortest one that she's got of her novels, and number two, it's set in Bath where I live, so that was pretty cool to like read about these places that still exist now, that are still popular places for people to go, and I can just envision everything that she's talking about in it because it's where I live, so it was pretty cool. I think I rated this 4 stars, but I think it could have been 5 if I'd have just read it properly, and I will be rereading it at some point because I think, not yet, but in the future, because I think I'll get a lot more out of it. But I love the character of Catherine. I love the character of Catherine. I think she's really funny. I think she's like very flawed, but in a good way. Like, she's very likable. As is Tilney. He's like funny. Next, I read Reasons She Goes to the Woods by Deborah K. Davies, and this one I gave 3 out of 5 stars because I'll explain what it's about. So it's about a girl called Pearl, and she's a very disturbed and very strange child, and you throughout the book see her grow into a person, but it's from her perspective. And so even though the things that she's doing and the way she's acting are disturbing and cruel, it comes across like it's completely normal because it's her. It's not in first person, but it's her perspective. It's of her experiences of these things. The reason it only got 3 stars is because I don't think there was much of a plot, and also we get told, like, sort of maybe why she is the way she is. Her parents aren't very nice people, especially her mother, and her mother has mental health issues, which is probably why she's not very nice to her. But I think there could have been more plot, and also just something that annoys me is that each chapter is a page, and opposite every chapter is the chapter title, and this is throughout the book, and it's such a waste of paper. Deborah K. Davies is a really good writer. Like, I would like to read something else of hers. I think that the way that she structured this book is quite limiting, in that she was making every chapter a page, and so whatever she was talking about had to be only fitting in that page. But she is a beautiful writer. Like, I would read something else by her, but I just wanted like slightly more plot or slightly more explanation about. It didn't end the way I wanted it to. It didn't tie up how I wanted it to, and that's not like the way I wanted the story to go. I wanted more explanation at the end. I mean, there's lots of hints along the way as to why she is like she is, but I just wanted a little bit more at the end and a little bit more plot. But yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. Next, I read The Listing Attic and The Unstrung Harp by Edward Gorey, and basically on the back of this it says, a reprint of 2 works by one of the world's most celebrated cartoonists has been eagerly awaited by the numerous Gorey fans in Britain and the Commonwealth. So basically it's 2 different pieces of work by Edward Gorey. The first one is The Listing Attic, which is full of little funny limericks, with an illustration to go with each of them. And then after that is The Unstrung Harp, which is a short story about a man called Mr. Earbrass, and writing a book and how he struggles to write the book and watches it get published. I've had it on my shelf for a long time, managed to get around to it. Yeah, it is what it is. It's like the first half of it is just those little limericks, which are funny, some of them better than others. And then the story I wasn't too fussed about. It was quite boring. Lastly, I read Paper Girls Volume 2. I got this for Christmas from Noah, and I was saving it to read it at a later date when I fancied it, and I fancied it last month, so I can't tell you too much about what happens in this one, because if you haven't read the first one, it will completely spoil it. But basically, in the first Paper Girls Volume 1, it's about paper delivery girls. They're like 12, I think, and some crazy thing happens, and there's time travel, and there's aliens, and 80s vibes, and that's all you need to know. And also, the colour palette throughout this is great. So it's all like this colour, or I'm trying not to find a spoilery page. Like greens and purples, and yeah, it's all really cool. I can't wait for the third one, which I believe is available for pre-order. I can't remember when it's actually out, but I will be ordering that for myself at some point. So yeah, I'm looking forward to how the story's going in it. If you've read it, chat to me in the comments about what you thought of the second one, and if you're excited for the third one. If you haven't, go and read the first one because it's really good. And that's everything that I managed to read in April. So I'm a bit like weird and quiet in this video is because all my housemates are in, and there's someone over there and there's someone up there, and yeah, I think everybody can hear what I'm saying, which makes me feel a bit weird. But yeah, that's everything that I read in the month of April, and yeah, I'll be back with another video soon. So thanks for watching, see you later.